Alright, this is a 2004 club car. Just wanted to share some information on it. This was originally from an old gentleman who no longer uses it, and he only used it in his driveway to plow because it came with a plow. So he just barely drove it in and out of his driveway. Once I purchased it, one thing that happened every time I used it was my starter generator would go out. So opening it up, I noticed that the contacts were burnt out. Had it rebuilt twice because it kept burning out. The third time I put a brand new starter generator and the whole thing melted, including all the wires, my battery posts, my voltage regulator, and so forth. So I replaced everything, but before I started using it, I said there's something not right here. So what could it be? Well, looking around, I noticed that it did not have a rev limiter, which is usually underneath the motor. So I picked up a rev limiter, which is an RPM limiter, and I mounted it here so it's easy for me to get to. You get the red wire, which is the ground. You got one black wire that tees off, one goes into the box, this black box. Originally it goes around the motor and then it goes into the black box. I just made a shorter version. And the other part goes underneath and there's a wire down there. So what that does is prevents the motor from going too fast and burning up your brushes or the motor itself. Now without that, you can drive without that as long as you don't play with your governor. The problem was someone played with the governor, so now the car had no protection in overheating. And the governor is right back here. This is the arm right here. Right here. And the adjustments is right there. You loosen up that bolt, and then you turn that pin. This pin right here. There's a hole in that pin, so you can put like a nail, or I have something here that I just mounted. Whenever I need it, I just take it out. And I use that to turn that pin. Now if you look at it straight down, if you turn it clockwise, it makes it go faster. Counterclockwise, as you're looking at it from above, it makes it slower. Now of course you got to loosen up this bolt in order to turn that. Once you get it to where you want it, you tighten it up, right? I would not mess around with the governor. I would not mess around with the rev limiter. So I put it back to its specs, and what I used to get it to the speed, I put these tapes on that pulley there, and I used a tachometer, and I read the readings, and I adjusted the governor until I got it around 4,900 RPMs, which is safe as long as it stays within less than 5,000. But once you put that rev limiter in it, that prevents it from going over. It doesn't tell you exactly, but mine doesn't go over 3,700. So I leave that on to protect the motor. Even if I disconnect it, it's still set at 4,900. It's still good. But I figure, you know what? I'll leave that on for the kids. But if I ever want to go a little faster, all I got to do is disconnect the ground, or I disconnect the two wires. One that goes underneath and the other one that goes to the box. Right, that'll eliminate the rev limiter. I'll have a little bit more power, but for now I think 3,700 is plenty. You go about 14 miles an hour. That's what the speed of golf carts should go. If you want to go to 20 miles an hour, then you play with the governor, you disconnect this, but you also have a chance of burning the motor again. Put new belts on, new spark plugs. I put a new ground wire, if you noticed. And the other thing you can do, I changed all my cables. You can adjust your cable so that it's just in the right spot, because that cable there connects with the other cable that comes to your carburetor. So once you press the pedal, that should activate that, which activates that, and it should be just the same action. There shouldn't be any play in there. You can adjust it from here. You can also adjust that rod, which goes to the pedal, if you like. There's numerous ways of adjustments, but I got it just where I want it. Don't want to mess around with the factory settings, and I'm back in business. I hope this information helped you. I also have a new battery installed. I have all these contacts here in case I want to add accessories. Like for example, I got these LED lights up here on both sides, and I also have one in the front as well. So it's a good idea to have it separated from the battery so you can attach whatever you want to it without touching the posts. All right, I hope this is something that can help you out. It took me a while to get it to where I want it and without having any damage to the vehicle itself. Thanks for watching.